Hello and welcome to another episode of BCG's Talking Shit. My name is Barrett Courtney, as always. I am your host. And here, joined with me, is one of my great co-hosts and even better friends, the bisexist from Texas, Henry Montiero. What's up, Henry?
Beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
Beep, beep. Meep, meep.
Meep, meep. Meep, meep.
Fucking, the coyote was fucking awesome. He never got a break.
Nah, they only made me record it once and then looped it. Cut down on costs.
If you don't know what we do here at Talking Shit,
We make Simpsons references.
One of us brings in a topic of discussion, then we talk some shit about that topic. And today's topic comes from myself. Now, by the time this video goes up, my review of Assassin's Creed will have gone up like last Saturday. The day you're watching this is Thursday. If you're listening to this on SoundCloud, it came out yesterday. If you're watching this on YouTube, check out SoundCloud. If you're listening to SoundCloud, check out YouTube.
And if you're watching us record it, come out, Lucille.
So, I just played Syndicate,
Yes.
and it was a very average game.
It's an Assassin's Creed game.
It was an Assassin's Creed game. The parkour, it was like they know that we don't like the parkour, so they added this grappling hook. So you can literally just grapple up to the top of a building and not have to deal with all like the fucking parkour shit.
Great! It's Batman Arkham Steampunk.
Well, yeah, that's what I put in my one section of my review is literally called Assassin's Creed Batman, and it's because this is the first Assassin's Creed. It's weird to think about. This is the first Assassin's Creed that doesn't have swords.
Huh.
So
That makes sense, though.
It makes sense. Like this is the first era where that's sort of not allowed in like a public area. So it makes sense for the time, definitely. I'm not saying like, oh, this game was out because it didn't have sword combat. But they realized, okay, we sort of have to change our fighting mechanics here. And they took a lot of notes from the Batman Arkham series. And that's why I literally like put that section is like, you can beat up thugs in this game, solve crimes, and grapple away. Just like Batman. Except they don't do it well. The fighting mechanics are not responsive. It gets like way too cluttered in group combat. It's hard to focus on everything at once. And that's not to say like I'm bad at the game. I've played every Assassin's Creed game. I'm pretty good at all of them. But I've never felt
I'm not a
overwhelmed.
scrub lord.
I've never felt overwhelmed by any of them until this one. And, like, I can play any Batman Arkham game, take down, like, fucking 40 thugs in, like, a minute. You know, this is
Without
just,
ever
like,
breaking your combo.
It's just, like, the way they designed, like, their health bars and stuff. It's hard to tell. Like, their health bars are tiny. So you have to be able to tell, like, okay, he's blocking stuff, so I gotta press X. Okay, that thing turned yellow, so I gotta turn this. But then there will be points where, like, 3 people are attacking you at once, and like even if you hit all 3 of them at the same time, it doesn't do anything. You just block one person, so you still get fucking hit by someone else. It's just bad design. And so what I just after playing Syndicate, I just want to talk about Assassin's Creed and our relationship with Assassin's Creed and how like what your perception is of the series, because after this one, before this one, I was not excited at all. I was like, whatever. And then like the review scores started coming out, and I was like, okay, I'll pay attention, I'll bite. Polygon gave it an 8.5. Polygon is usually really tough on their fucking reviews. So I was like, all right, if they can find a way to enjoy this game, I should go check it out. So, you see my review score. I'm not going to say it here because Henry wants to read it. So, and when we're recording this, it's not out yet.
I already saw the review score when you were looking at it on your computer.
Oh, you saw it? Yeah, I gave it a 6.5. Again, it's not terrible. It's like
a 6 out of 5.
It's an okay game. Don't think a 6.5 is like, oh, it's not worth playing. It's okay. If you like some of these elements, that's fine. That's your prerogative. Go play those games if you want. But it wasn't impressive. So I just, what has your experience been with Assassin's Creed? Well, I'm interested because you don't have the same experience as Ricky and myself do.
Well, I'm not obsessed with it like Ricky is.
Yeah, Ricky is weirdly obsessed with it, and this probably would have been a better topic to bring up while he was here. But I felt like if we waited too long, it would have not been relevant as much since Syndicate is like out now,
brand new.
Yeah, so
it's like a week since.
Exactly. So I just wanted to bring it up while it was still relevant before we lost that relevancy.
So I've played I've played 2 Assassin's Creed games,
Okay.
both in the last month.
Mm.
And that's Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood. I beat both of them.
Yeah.
And eventually, from Ricky, I'll borrow the collection that has Assassin's Creed 3 and Black Flag.
Black Flag's the only one worth playing.
Okay, I'll play through that.
Yeah. 3 is... So I came up with a list. From the best... you know me. I like my lists.
I like them even more.
So... I ranked the Assassin's Creed games. The 9. Not the fucking weird ones like Liberation and what... The main Assassin's Creed games. There's 9.
Not the weird ones like the first one.
So starting from 9, ending at 1, I've got Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed, Revelations, Rogue, Syndicate, Unity, Brotherhood, 2, and then Black Flag. Now, I want to... Assassin's Creed 3 is the worst one because it is so fucking dull and boring and just what the fuck. They shoehorned in the ship combat, which was really weird because it wasn't like the open worldness of Black Flag where you seamlessly like go onto your ship and whatnot. It was, here's where your ship is, and if you go onto it, we have a 5-minute loading screen, and then you're in this like weird like ocean portion of our map, and it was just really weird. It didn't fit in with the rest of the game. The intro to that game was like literally 3.5 hours.
Intros don't need to be that long.
Intros really should be like a half hour. Should not be a half hour to 45 minutes. If it's longer than that, you're doing it wrong.
If I've gotten that far in a game and I don't see the title of it on my screen,
yeah.
Bad game.
Yeah, bad game. Yeah. Assassin's Creed, the first one, that was like when it was linear and it didn't have like those open world RPG elements to it, so it's not the worst one, but it definitely just wasn't impressive. It's sort of like Watch Dogs, and I'm a little excited for Watch Dogs 2 possibly, is that they might realize, oh, this is a good idea, maybe we should expand on this a little more.
Or like how no one cares about the original Far Cry.
Exactly.
Because Far Cry 3 was when it was just like, hey, this villain's great.
Yeah. Did anybody care about Far Cry 2?
I don't even remember it.
Yeah. I think those games were very different.
I just got it confused with Just Cause all the time.
Revelations is awful. We didn't need any more Ezio. Old Ezio is really boring. Gameplay was just so bad where, you took over forts and stuff, and then you could possibly lose those forts, and then you'd have to do like these fort defense things, or you sit on top of a roof, and it was literally like Civ 5 or something, where you're like, I'm gonna place this here, so when these people come here, they'll fucking murder me.
So they took Assassin's Creed and turned it into one of those tower defense games that you get on your phone.
Exactly, and that's not like what the whole game was, but like they kept making you do it, and it was like, oh my god, I want to fucking throw this glass at Henry's face.
Okay. It's like, it's a small part of the game, but it's like if Jak 3, that one mini game where like you're Daxter in the Pac-Man game,
yeah,
you kept having to do that throughout the game.
Exactly. And like Rogue is not like terrible. It's more of Black Flag with a not interesting character. A map that's way too big. It's way too fucking big. I literally, when you have a game that's all about traveling through the map and seeing like where you can go, and I can fucking fast travel, and that's what I'm primarily doing, that's a bad sign.
Yeah.
Like, a big example is Arkham Origins. You have a big map, and it's fucking empty.
Yeah.
And I'd rather just fucking fast travel to places.
It's like something like Witcher 3 or Skyrim. You want to travel through it because you feel like you're getting something out of it.
The only times I would ever travel, like, fast points through Witcher 3 is if I needed something, like, right then. Like, oh, I need to get to this place right now to be able to level up this guy. Like, I want to do it right now before I do anything else, so if I, like, run into anything else, like, there are games that utilize that so well of, like, fast travel because they know, like, you're going to want to use it to your advantage in some point, and that's, like, that's you playing the game, that's you getting through it. And then there's other games like Assassin's Creed Rogue or Batman Arkham Origins where they put it in because you know you don't want to play the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So there's differences.
Like, if you told me that you use fast travel in, like, Fallout 3, I'd be like, that's wrong.
Yeah. Like, I never, like, I think Fallout or fucking Fallout, Far Cry 4, like, again, I might have fast traveled like 1 or 2 times, but to get to specific areas where like, okay, I really want to do that right now, like, let's get that done so I can go back over here and do this, you know. And again, those only happen a couple of times because Far Cry 4 and Witcher 3 were fucking beautiful worlds, and Rogue and Arkham Origins were not.
They're bland.
They're bland.
Especially Arkham Origins. It's like nothing but gray.
It's gray. It's so fucking gray and just not pretty whatsoever.
When I picture it in my head, I like imagine like PS2 winter graphics.
And then we get to Syndicate, which is number 5. And Syndicate, you know, again, it's not. It's just Syndicate is like what I feel like Assassin's Creed was always trying to lead up to. Is like it's a full open world RPG. You have to like upgrade your
weapons,
your gang, and like you have to upgrade, like you have to have a certain level to get into a mission, and to upgrade levels you have to like upgrade your power-ups and all that stuff, and to upgrade your power-ups you have to earn XP, or no, you have to gain Assassin's Creed points, and then to get assassin points. No, I'm not exaggerating. To get assassin's points, you gotta earn XP, and then every 1,000 XP you get an assassin point. Like, it's so convoluted and unnecessary. It's like, oh my god. It's that game is so close to being like really cool and really awesome.
But then you get your Microsoft points in there.
Yeah, you get the fucking weird like point system in there, and
they added that so that they could add microtransactions, didn't they?
Yeah. There's you can buy XP. Bad choices. Bad on you.
Bad game. Bad. Sit down. Go to the corner.
And then like the story could have been so much more than like a lot of the story is like you're taking over London, like you're taking it back from the Blighters, which is like this gang.
But it's really like, the Templars.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell if the Blighters are just hired guns of the Templars, because you'll take over areas and then you'll be like, join us or we'll kill you, and they're like, yeah, we'll join you. So it doesn't seem like they really care about like who they're working for.
Is Jack the Ripper in it?
He is a DLC that's not available yet, I think.
I heard Karl Marx was in it.
Karl Marx is in it. I've yet to play any of his missions.
Karl Marx destroyed the proletariat.
Charles Dickens missions are pretty cool. Really weird. And then there's these like murder investigations that you can do. They brought that back from Unity, but they did it way better, where they're basically in Unity it was like, here's this lady and someone in this area killed her and you gotta find it out.
Someone in this room is a murderer. Puts on Eagle Vision. That guy.
Yeah.
That guy. And how do you know he's yellow?
And as you saw in our Let's Play last Friday, they expanded on that way more in Syndicate of, okay, like you found everything you needed to find here. Here are like more areas of investigation you've opened up, like, and it could possibly like this one not be relevant at all, like this one could be relevant, and they're like telling a story of like in our Let's Play, the woman who was murdered. Don't fondle your microphone like that. It's okay. The woman who was murdered in a park, and she had recently started to see this doctor for anxiety or something. And then you find out, like, oh, like, she's been dating the doctor. So you start to think, oh, like, and she was having an affair with the doctor. And she was, like, engaged to this other dude. And you're like, oh, the guy who is engaged to her killed her because,
yeah.
Because he got jealous or whatever. And he's, like, all mad. And then you go to the doctor's, like, place. And there's this, like, crazy lunatic patient that you start to hear about. And you're like, oh, shit, it's this guy. And then you find out he's innocent, and then you hear this new name, and you're like, "Oh, like it's got to be this guy." Like it's
Frederick Killingson.
It started with like a B or something. We'll just call him Barrett. No.
Yeah, the man. The man.
Anyway, you start hearing this name, and you're like, "Okay, it's definitely this guy." And then you start putting it all together. The doctor has a case of dual personality because he puts himself on his own medication, and so. She gets together with the doctor because whenever the doctor hangs out with her, he's like the side of like the personality who's all like a sort of like a scumbag, is like sleeping with everybody sort of thing, and he doesn't realize it, and then he kills her, and then when he really, it's too late. This is too late.
Nice.
Yeah. It was like really cool. It was like telling like a story, and Unity never really did that. That's okay. Like Unity only had a couple of those. So, and then you get to Unity as number 4. A lot of people give, I think, unjust hate to Unity
because of that first week of just unplayableness.
Yeah, it was, and I never actually experienced that. I picked it up day one, and it was completely fine on the PS4. I think a lot of people blew it out of proportion because of the small group on PC that it was broken for. So, and then everybody turned on it because it's popular to hate Assassin's Creed. I think the adding of the like downward parkour and being able to scale down like the walls and stuff was really cool and made the flow of the game much smoother. And the setting was nice. The main character was a little sort of flat throughout the whole thing. The story wasn't that interesting, but being able to take over France and or Paris and take that city back was really cool. And seeing like that was the first game where the NPCs started to not feel like NPCs anymore. Like everything before Unity, it's like these guys are gonna walk over here for a little bit.
Do you have money?
Yeah, I'm gonna do like really bad animations. Like Unity, like,
do you want to hear my loot?
Had really natural environments, and that was really cool. So, and that's what I think Assassin's Creed like excels at. So it's going back to Syndicate. A lot of that natural like environment gets taken away because it's turned into this open world RPG, much like Mad Max, where you have to take over this environment, then this environment, then this environment, and then, by the end of the game, it doesn't matter that you've taken it all over. And that's the main problem. Like, Assassin's Creed could have worked as an open world RPG. That's fine. But then at the end of the game, it's like, oh, everything you've done in the past, like throughout this whole game, has been wrong. You've been fucking up the city, actually. And because the story follows Jacob and Evie Fry, and you get to play as both of them. And Jacob's all about, like, we need to take back London. I'm going to start a gang, and we're going to beat up the Blighters and all this stuff. And then Evie is like, no, we got to focus on finding the Piece of Eden. And that's barely in the story, like, whatsoever. Until, like, the last, like, couple missions where it's like, no, we need to find the Piece of Eden. And then it's all about the Piece of Eden at, like, the last moment. And, like, the last portion of the game. So, like, everything you did before that, like, didn't really matter. I was like, that fucking sucks.
Yep.
So... Anyway, then you get to Brotherhood. You're like meh on Brotherhood, right?
I like parts of it, but then other points really frustrate me. I didn't like it as much as 2.
Like, what points frustrated you in Brotherhood?
Just like some of the synchronization stuff was like, this is annoying.
Yeah, the synchronization for Syndicate I felt is way easier, more natural.
Just small things like that. It was a good game, but it's like didn't feel as like
its own game
complete as 2.
Yeah.
It felt like really long DLC.
Yeah, I really liked Brotherhood. I remember like the hype for that game when they announced that trailer, and that was like that was when the guy, it wasn't Honest Trailers, but it was like the guy who would sing like with like the music of a trailer and point out like really obvious things about the trailer.
Tobuscus?
Yeah, Tobuscus. And that's when he was really popular, and like Brotherhood like was like one of the popular videos he did. And then also like the Harry Potter trailer for Deathly Hallows he got really popular for. So I remember like we were fucking hyped because it, like,
I've not thought about that guy in years.
2 ended off in like a like this needs to continue. Like they're obviously gonna stay with Ezio's story. So I don't know. There's just something about Brotherhood that I really, really enjoyed it. I think it was the story. I really think it was just like feeling the complete story there, and that's why
Donkey Kong.
Yes. And then Assassin's Creed 2 is like the best feeling Assassin's Creed game. Of like, yes, like this is if Assassin's Creed could constantly be good, it would be 2.
Yeah.
And then Black Flag, I think, is the best one. It's not the best Assassin's Creed game because it's not really an Assassin's Creed game.
It's just the best game.
It's just the best game of, like, the ship combat is fucking flawless. Flawless. Like, yeah, and then you get back to the, like, fucking regular Assassin's Creed. Like, you gotta follow these people and stay within, like, a certain radius of them to, like, listen to their conversation and get all that shit. But it's, like, a very small portion of that game. Like, they took a lot of that, pushed it to the side, and were like, fucking pirates, man.
Yeah.
So.
Like, to me, Assassin's Creed has just continuously been, like, a train of interesting IPs for other games that they put into a mold to fit into an Assassin's Creed game. Like, Revolutionary War game, it's Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
London during the...
And I honestly think that they just need to not reboot the series. They just need to take the sci-fi element out of it.
Yeah.
Because, like, they still have it in Syndicate, and
No one
I'm playing through London for like hours and hours and hours, and then after I get to a certain sequence, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna pull you back, and we're gonna tell you about all this side bullshit that you don't give a fuck about."
The Templars, blah blah blah.
Like, ever since Desmond Miles died in 3. Like, the Piece of Eden and all of these, like, weird fucking gods and shit become less and less relevant for each game. And it's just, like, stop trying. Like, the next Assassin's Creed, like Assassin's Creed 5, like, the next number titled should literally be just the Assassin's story. Nothing else.
Especially because if you did that,
you can keep that weird art style of, like, when they load things, it's all, like, computerized and stuff. That shit's fine. Just literally, I don't give a fuck about
the present day.
Abstergo and these weird side characters from 2 that I forgot about, you know?
Yeah. And also, if you get rid of that, you open up, like, things that you could do for other games. So,
and you can focus on your fucking story. They try too hard because the problem with Syndicate, especially, is that you spend so much time, like, taking over London, and then you're told at the end, like, no, it's really about the Piece of Eden, because we got to talk about the Piece of Eden because it fits into this modern-day story and all of this stuff. If they didn't have to worry about that, the stories for Assassin's Creed could be fucking phenomenal.
Like, imagine this. If you get rid of the characters, for the most part, they've been stuck in, like, the same general, like, white male area.
Yes.
Imagine if the next one, they get rid of all the modern day bullshit, and because of that, they do a game where you play in, like, feudal Japan.
Yeah.
Would that not be the best thing?
That's never going to happen because of their dumb Assassin's Creed Chronicles thing, where they made that so people could stop fucking bitching about non-white characters and stuff, because it's Liberation came out, and it's the Chinese woman.
No, Liberation is the black woman.
Never mind. You're right. Okay, so for Chronicles, the first one was China, and then the 2 that have yet to come out, I think, are India and then Russia. Mm-hmm. And that's, like, their way of just saying,
Russia is white.
Yeah. Well, no. Here's the thing. If you ask people from Russia, they don't consider themselves white. They're like, no, we're Russian. And it's like, no, you guys are fucking white.
My dad's the same way. My dad doesn't want to be called white. He prefers to be called Portuguese.
Hold on, I'm going to do that again in case you missed it.
Oh, I did not miss it.
You're fucking white. Get over it.
Oh, I just thought of a good one. Assassin's...
Again, what were we talking about? I'm sorry. This turned into a race thing.
Imagine Assassin's Creed set in, like, ancient Aztec culture.
See, that'd be cool. And they almost, like, got, like, the earliest they went back was Altair's...
Yeah, Jerusalem.
Yeah, which was cool.
Yeah.
Like, going back that far and, like, thinking about, like, secret societies, like, way back then. It's, like, cool to think about. And that's why the story for 1, like, I always, like, whatever define, no matter what, like, the story for 1, for me, always defined Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
So, and something about, and this is something I realized while, like, finishing up Syndicate and writing my review, the adventure has been lost in these games. Like, the sense of, like, having motivation to, like, be an assassin, because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a couple years since I've played 2, but, like, Ezio's whole story is, like, he wasn't really part of the Assassins. His dad never really told him about it, and it, like, until his father and brother were murdered in front of him. And then he found out about the creed, and he was like, okay, I want to redeem their deaths. You know, I want to like.
Yeah, before that, it was all just like, he was like, I make trouble on the streets. I climb up buildings so I can bone my hard
I remember like for some reason the beginning of Assassin's Creed 2 reminded me a lot of the beginning of Romeo and Juliet. Yeah. Where it's like these fucking kids and they're just like fucking around and being kids on the streets and shit. Because I remember like the beginning is like you start the sword fight because you're near a family that doesn't like you or whatever.
Here's mud in your eye.
So like that shit was cool. And like they gave Ezio motivation. And then the reason why fucking shit. What's the Black Flag character?
Do I look like I know?
Oh, god damn it.
Stephen Wright. There. That's his name now.
No.
Greg,
no. Barrett. Skip to the part where I find out who... Edward Kenway. Never mind.
Skip to that.
Skip to a second later. Edward Kenway is fucking cool because he's just a pirate. And he literally falls like ass backwards into this thing. In the beginning of the game, I'm going to ruin this a little bit for you, but it's just literally just like the first 20 minutes of this game. The beginning of the game, you're like a pirate on this ship, and you're being attacked by this other ship, and there's a storm, and then you get like, the boat starts rocking and gets sank, and then it like falls in the storm, and Edward Kenway's like drowning, and then he wakes up, and he finds himself on the beach with an assassin who's on that other boat. And the like assassins like get me to like the city, and I will pay you a lot and all of this stuff. And Edward Kenway is like, what? With like what boat, you know? And he starts being a dick to him, and then the assassin like tries to kill him with like his pistol, but it's been so water soaked that it doesn't work. And so
sucks to suck.
The assassin starts running away, and then you chase after him, and then you fight him and you kill him. And then you read a letter off of his body that says like, oh, blah blah blah, if you deliver this, like we will reward you with all of this, blah 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 blah. And so Edward just dresses up like this. He takes this dude's like assassin's getup to basically collect money.
That's incredible.
And then he starts exploiting it, and then like you meet other pirates, and I think the character's name is James Kidd, who's a pirate, and you start meeting up with him, and then he introduces you, like he's a pirate like on the outside, but then he's like, hey, I'm part of the assassins. You're wearing that, and I know you're not an assassin. And so he introduces like Edward to like the assassins. It was just like a really engaging story. Literally, Jacob and Evie in Syndicate, I could give less of a fuck about. It's like, hey, we're spoiled rich kids who live in like England, and we're gonna go to London because we don't feel like listening to our master's like plans. So we're gonna go to London of our own accord and take the city back. Our father used to be an assassin, but he died.
I should go back to London sometime.
Oh yeah, you went there, right?
Yeah. They have the best Indian food.
Not the best London food.
Oh, London food is terrible. Except for London style breakfast. That shit's good.
Yeah.
It's a poached egg, sausages.
Do you have any closing thoughts on Assassin's Creed? My last question, I guess, for this topic would be, what would you do to fix Assassin's Creed?
Set it in Japan.
But just like the series in general.
Get rid of the sci-fi element.
Okay.
Focus more on the story. Set it in Japan.
Yeah, I would say you guys need a better engine.
Yeah.
Like the parkour
is broken.
Is still, after 9 games, it's still not that great. Like you guys just need a new engine. Because obviously this one is not working out for you guys. Yeah, I would say fix your engine. Definitely, you guys have to have like better mechanics for being able to climb and shit. Because it's bad. Like I was recently in one of our videos, I compared the climbing from Assassin's Creed to Uncharted, but that was because I hadn't played an Assassin's Creed in a couple of years, or like in a year. And then I went back to Assassin's Creed. I was like, oh no, Uncharted isn't nearly as bad as this. They're similar, but Assassin's Creed isn't nearly as responsive. That's their problem. So they just need to fix like their game mechanics, because Syndicate, the whole game is like grappling hook and stuff, and they literally created an element of the game to skip the parkour. It's like them saying, we know this is bad, here's a way to skip it. If you know it's bad, just fucking fix it.
It's like if Batman never had you use the Batmobile.
Exactly. Do we want to end it there?
Yes.
All right, cool. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Talking Shit. Today's topic was all about that Assassin's Creed and why it needs to improve.
Why we need to improve the AC.
So thank you so much for joining us today. If you liked what we had to say, if you have any more thoughts on Assassin's Creed, all that stuff, you can leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you like the video, like our like button down below, share with your friends, subscribe to our channel for more episodes of Talking Shit. And hold on, let me pull my rigmarole up, because I always forget something.
That was a nicer rigmarole.
If you want to keep up to date what we do here at BTG, you can always find us on Twitter collectively at baiazonagamers. You can find me. I'm at Benandlerchong. Henry's at Henrysaurus. And our tech guy, who makes all of this possible, 7, is at 7 Morse, but the O in Morse is a 0. You can check it in the description below. So now it's the end of the week. This is our last topic for Talking Shit this week. Mm-hmm. Today's Thursday, by the time you're watching this. So I'm going to, lay out what we do here on YouTube. Every Monday, you get a quick review where we bring in stuff to do a 1-minute review on. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you get episodes of Talking Shit right here, youtube.com/baiazonagamers. And then every Friday, you get a Let's Play Some Shit, where I do a Let's Play of whatever the fuck I want. And tomorrow, just a sneak peek, tomorrow, playing that Fallout 3. I'm going to play like the first hour, maybe hour and a half of Fallout 3.
Good.
Yeah.
You're going to love it.
Yeah, because by the time that video comes out, Fallout 4 will be coming this upcoming Tuesday.
And we're all going to be buying that.
Oh, yeah.
And we're not going to be doing this show for 3 months.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
We're going to play Fallout 4, a good game.
Good game. This is good game.
This is a good game. So thank you so much for joining us.
This is a good game.
For Talking Shit. Oh, and by the way, if you want to get some of this stuff early and listen to like a news portion of what we do at BCG, we also have SoundCloud. The link's in the description below. We have a podcast that goes up every Sunday. We talk about the gaming news, games we've been playing, all that stuff, and then you get some of this YouTube content early. So check that out. Got to promote that because I'm putting money into it. So,
Yep.
I want to see a return a little bit on it, Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. That's a song I really hate. That should have been on yesterday's topic.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Talking Shit. Until next time, have a great day full of shit talking and
fixing the AC.
I don't even know. Not Assassin's Creed. You know it. Assassin's Creed, but only Black Flag and 2. Thank you.